we are here at the world-famous Blackpool Tower Circus. And I would say we're in the company, Steve, of circus royalty.
Absolutely. 25 years and counting. The fabulous gentlemen in front of us are indeed Mr Boo and Mooky the Clown.
Hi guys, how are you?
We're good. Thank you for agreeing to come on to our panto special, because we're in the thick of panto now, as are you guys. But do you think you're the only circus panto? Because I don't know if it's just unique to Blackpool and to the Blackpool Tower Circus.
Well, we was definitely the first. I think a few have done it, a few other tenting shows have done it, but I think we was the first one. And this is the only established circus building that does it, definitely, yeah. But we were doing it now, I think it's 25 years we were doing it.
25 years.
Literally 25
Let's
years.
count them together. 1, 2... No, let's not do that.
Let's
do that. But in actual fact, this is the only break. This is what always surprises me about you guys, because you work so hard during the rest of the season, and it's a long season here in Blackpool.
I do work hard. Some of us don't.
But this is your only break. This is your chance to go swanning off to the Caribbean and during these few weeks, isn't it?
Well, no, we do get a couple of weeks off after panto. We get a couple of weeks off, but
it's not long, is it?
Yeah, we are.
Not really, but don't forget we've got to get it ready for the summer season. We've got to book acts from all over the world, and that's so you got to get sorted and build the props, write the music, and do all that kind of rubbish. So.
Well, you mentioned the building the props, and that is really your department, isn't it?
It is. You're right. I overlap in summer season. I sort of start in May, planning, and then September I start seriously building everything, and by this year, by October the 31st, I was done.
Wow.
Ready to go. But the paint was still drying on the way in on the first night, so...
What's been the most challenging thing that you've had to make, then? Over all the years, have you had any...
What gave you the most sleepless nights of all the things that you've created? Because you make so many of your own props for the circus pantos.
Yeah, this particular car that I've built for this panto has been a bit of a problem because of the... we had a bit of an accident, didn't we?
Yeah, no, but didn't he?
Yes, we crashed into the ring fence. Nobody was hurt,
just
except my pride.
Pride and feelings, yes.
Well, this is your own fault for not putting an engine in a car. I mean, normally that's a basic thing, isn't it?
Well, stagehand who can just push it along.
No, what happened was if we put an engine in it, then there's fumes, obviously. If there's a battery in it, then you've got to charge the battery. And also, if you put an engine in it, any moving parts can go wrong. Whereas if somebody's, like the Flintstones, sat inside, moving with the legs, nothing can go wrong.
Of course, can't go
Apparently.
wrong. Of course, can't go wrong. Of course not. There's a dent in the ring fence over there.
What makes me laugh is the fact we're talking to two clowns about the fact that they had a car that went wrong, and they didn't expect that.
I took my car back because the doors didn't fall off.
There we go. I knew I'd be able to set him up with something. Anyway. It is a beautiful environment, though, isn't it? I mean, it's a joy for you guys to come to work, really, in this fabulous building.
It is, really. It is one of the most beautiful, well, in my opinion, the most beautiful circus there is in the world. You know, there's a few building circuses in the world, but none of them can compare to this. The atmosphere in it is fabulous. Well, how old is it now? It's
125 next year.
125 years.
Same age as the Grand, actually. The Grand Theatre and the Tower are twins.
He's pointing at Stephen there. I thought he was saying he's not that old. He's not that old. He's not that old.
It's just like we've just had a tough day rehearsing. It's fine.
Okay, fair enough.
But tell us, for the people that don't know, I guess because I live on the Foul Coast, I'm well aware of a circus panto. So how does it differ from what Steve and I do up the road to what you guys do in here? Because I come and see it every year. So tell us how you guys are just different to what we do.
The difference between it is obviously the circus acts. Now, I'm sure you've had special acts on in pantos. You've done pantos that way. Yes. And it's always one or two top whack. I've done pantos in the past many years ago. I've been the special act and done my juggling act, whatever. But it's always one or two acts, and it's very much blended into like the background, fire eating, blah, blah, blah. Whereas in our case, we sort of, very cleverly in the script, we sort of mention there's a circus in town at the beginning. So that's set. And then the second half opens with a whole circus part of the show, which is about half an hour to 40 minutes long. We do put a special act like in the first half as well, but we just throw it into like the village scene or something like that, you know, unicycles and fire eating, juggling, but a proper circus section of the show. What it does is it's a great thing and it's a bad thing. The great thing about it is that it makes the people see different things, obviously in the panto, but at the same time you've got to get on with the dialogue very, very quickly because you lose that amount of time in the show with the circus act. So if you want to get a point across, we're in love, we've had an argument, we've fallen out, we'll get back to, you know, all that. You have to get on with it because you lose a big section of the show. The only downside of it is backstage when you have big acts and all the props and whenever everybody's going out to get changed or whatever, there's no space in the back.
We're going back to the Tower Circus now, and I continued my chat with Mooky and Mr Boo by asking Mooky what comes first in the process of writing a panto.
It's mix and mingle, really. Sometimes the fact is that we already have the acts ready to go, and then you write the panto and put them into places where they would fit, and other times where you just have a panto, you go, right, this is the circus section, let's find some acts to do, because it's very, very difficult to find acts from all over the world, and also get the paperwork and get them here, make sure that they will be able to make it.
And when you've got a summer season, you know it's a long season, so it's easy to get the same amount of paperwork for a 9-month season or a 2-month panto. It's the same amount of paperwork, the same work. Yeah. So that's quite hard finding acts.
I would say the panto comes first, and then you slot them in. I would say mostly.
I know I've spoken to your dad about this lots of senior, and he's mentioned on several occasions. You don't use the same act you have in the summer always. Which is, that seems to me like you're just making more work for yourselves, really, isn't it?
Yeah, but as you probably know, the Blackpool audiences, most of the people you get come every year.
Yeah.
Well, you get people come in and, we came here when I was a kid, and now I've got my daughter, and you feel dead old because they got a daughter. Oh, my grandmother, and I got a granddaughter, and it makes you feel really old. But they come every single year, so you can't really fool them.
I think what will surprise many people is, unlike Steve and I, who sort of we turn up, we get the script, we do the thing. You guys, you write it. You have such a
sing the tune, write the theme tune.
Yeah, that's what I mean. You do a lot, and I think that would surprise most people. So where do you even start with writing the panto? Because it's a lot of dialogue and a lot of storytelling.
That's all the little fella does most of that.
Yeah. I work backwards, like
that won't surprise me.
No, it doesn't work.
Like if you write a gag, you'll always start with a punchline and then try and find a good way to make it funny from the beginning. That's what I do with panto. I go, what do I want to achieve at the end? You know, happiness. Put the first the end of the first act in a darkness, so you got to climb out of it in the second half and work your way up to happiness again, and start. Or I always write panto in the way of start off by being bankrupt and there's no money and and then the baddie wants the money and the taxes and the tax, all those things, boo, and then obviously come into money somehow, or success, or the show's back on the road and it's worked and it's success, everybody's come to see the show and we've got loads of money and we're all happy. And of course the love story, this year we've got a nice little thing going where I'm in love with the princess, as you know the Aladdin story. And then I sort of disguise myself as a prince.
Oh.
Okay. Oh, right. Okay.
And then I sort of lie to her, and then she finds out.
And is Mr. Boo? You're always usually a baddie in most situations. Are you a baddie in this, or what?
I'm
what
not
are you?
a baddie in this. I quite enjoy Aladdin. It's one of my favourites because I get to not be a baddie. I get to be
the rest of you.
I get to be the genie.
Oh, right. Okay, right.
With a slight accent.
Right. Okay.
Yes, this year. So I quite enjoy it.
German accent.
I was going to say, a genie has travelled to very many and picked up a different accent from various countries that you visited. By the
Accents are
sound
not my
of it.
thing, really. Accents are not really my
We
thing.
did a panto many years ago. What was it? Was it Robin Hood? Robin
That was
Hood.
my first panto. That was my first
And he
panto.
goes to me. He says, I said, you're playing Will
Will
Scarlet?
Scarlet,
Yeah.
yeah, it was Robin Hood, wasn't it? Yeah.
And he said, I know what I'm going to do with this. I'm going to do it in an American accent. I said, yeah, sure. So I thought nothing else of it.
I was 17.
Nothing else of it. So I thought,
yeah.
yeah, that'll work. So wrote all the script, come to the first rehearsal, and then I realised his American accent is very, very similar to the Genie's, which is German.
Well, I was American German. I was an immigrant.
It wasn't.
But it wasn't Will Scarlet.
Okay, stop. It did sort of a Southern German American accent, and it wasn't funny as in ha. It was just funny to us.
I've seen so many shows of you guys that some of the fun, and I don't know how much you cod it, but you do it so well. You break and cracking yourself up at your brother there, don't you?
Absolutely. It's a challenge. It's a challenge because you see loads of things, similar things happen every day, and the way to keep it fresh is to try and crack each other up. Absolutely.
My question then, and we'll make this one of our last questions, is do you ever get nervous? Because there's a lot of pressure when you've done all the work involved, whether that's writing it, putting the music together, putting the acts together. Do you, when it comes to the moment and go, right, we're open, or it's opening night, do you get nerves, or do you get nervous, or is it?
Do you get nervous?
I get nervous about other people remembering things, I'll be honest.
Oh,
That
so
sounds
you get
really
nervous?
big-headed.
No,
But I get
it's
nervous
an honest
about...
answer.
I don't actually think... He gets really angry with me sometimes because I do what I do, learn my lines, and that's it. That's what you've got to worry about. But I get nervous about that prop's got to come on. And that fella's, is he going to remember to do that? He's going to remember to open the curtains at the right... That's what I get more nervous about, to be honest.
And you, Laci?
That sounded really
I don't
big-headed.
get nervous. No, never get nervous. I was lucky enough to start so long ago that before I realised what nerves was, I was already doing it.
Just give us a little bit of snip, because we haven't even mentioned what acts are actually in. In terms of special acts, what do we have in?
Okay. We've got a trio bicycle act, which are from Russia. Moscow,
yeah.
Russia, yep. We have a foot juggling on the back of a motorbike from Paris.
Brilliant.
She is amazing. She truly is. She foot juggles with fire and all sorts.
Stuff, yeah.
We've also got
the aerialist from Cuba, Havana.
the star act. Really is Argentinian, a trio from Argentina, doing bulls on like ropes where they spin them around.
Oh, well, we would wish you luck, but you're already up and running and have been since the 24th of November.
Thanks so much for joining us. And it's been a pleasure sharing the
Merry
experience.
Christmas.
And very Merry Christmas and a happy panto season.